Get it right. Everybody ready?
I will.
Greenville City Council will come to order. Please call a roll.
Whitaker.
Here.
Brown. Ely. Here. Godwin.
Here.
Norris.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here. If I get everyone to stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Evening, everyone. Council, council members, you were emailed out the minutes. If there is no corrections or additions, they will stand approved as emailed out. You were also emailed out the current financial report. I will take a motion to approve or deny that.
So moved.
So move to accept the financial report. Discussion, call the roll.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes. Approval of the agenda. There are no additions or corrections.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Moved by Mr. Schmidt to approve the agenda. Discussion, call the roll.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Ely.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to public hearing. Anyone would like to come to the podium and speak?
Just a couple of things. First of all, I had a neighbor tell me that Rumpke has been slacking off a little bit, that I went over and talked to him about a week ago, and when he went to put his trash can away, it did not get picked up. And so that had happened to me when they went on vacation and I watched their house, that I actually ran the Rumpke rolly bin over to Meadow Lane because they were backing down it. I don't know how they missed it, but they did. All the others got picked up. And then I noticed about 2 weeks ago, they had missed the whole street of recycling. So I just want to make you aware, they did come the next day. So I've had to call them in the past to say, hey, because I watch a lot of people's houses or whatever, and I've had to call them and said, hey, you didn't pick this trash can up. So I just want to make you aware of that. And the other thing, I just want to let you know, I'm still doing the message board out there across from the football field. I changed it today, and no sooner did I walk away, I watched 2 people walk up and read the information that I have in there. And so if you get a chance, if you're out in the park, you'll go over there. I try to change it weekly. So that's one of the reasons why I come to your meetings. I want to see what I can type up and then put in there. So right now I'm focusing on Shawnee Prairie, that Matt Light's going to be the marshal of the parade. And I want to go up to the Welcome Center this week and get some additional information like newsletters or whatever. So it warms my heart when I see people go over there and actually read it. And I'm a real stickler about old information. It drives me crazy when I see that out at Kroger's right now. They have something that should have been taken down 2 weeks ago, but it's still up there. So I will not have old information there since I live so close to it. And we are going to do a story. It's going to be based on dedicating that message board in memory of Fred, who was on the school board. And his widow has already agreed that she will give the interview. Ryan Berry wants to do the interview. And so I want to have a little plaque because it was through Fred that we got that board. If he had not been instrumental in getting it, because I went to that auction at East School and they did not sell it, and I knew that, and so I had called the park board and said, hey, I've been looking for one for a year. And so I called Deb called Fred went and had it dug up immediately. We stored it, things happened, things fell into place. We made it 2-sided because it was only 1-sided with glass. The glass company had it so long, they did it for free. I said, if there isn't a God, I don't know where it will, because he was very instrumental in getting this all done. And so please stop in if you're going through the park. You want to know what the football team is playing? It's going to be an away game because I have that in there as well. So I'm always looking for new information. And so if you're going through the park, stop in and see the board. It's right there at the corner, so.
Do you have anything on there on the new exercise?
No,
park?
and I'm gonna take a picture of that, and I wanna take a picture of the new, baby peacocks that were born July 2nd. I talked to Kathy, and she says their birth was July 2nd. And then I talked to Blosser, Galen?
Galen, yep.
And I mentioned it to him at the last, the concert that we had, and he wasn't aware of it. So I said, I need a good picture because he's so good at that. So he told me to stop down and he was gonna go take some pictures, and I wanna post that so people will know. Most of the stuff I post is free to those in this area. And that's what the intentions is, to get people involved. Like, we're gonna have the homecoming parade soon coming up there in Greenville. And then we have the horse parade and all this stuff going on. So I just want to open it up to the community so they get involved in things. And I also put in there for the fair board meeting, the park board meeting, and the city council, because I want people to be involved. So I post it when I get it, and hopefully you'll see more people up here besides me standing at this podium. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing what you do.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else? Public hearing. Street department, you have a long report for us? Fire department? Water? Engineering department? Okay. Thank you for all being here. I just made a comment to Doug before the meeting started, so thank you. Moving on to administration reports, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I'll take a couple of minutes here. Basically, a few things that I've done lately is proclamations. We were able to go to the Elks on Saturday. I think there were several of you there. I saw Chris and Jeff, and I don't know if you were there, Doris.
I
You
was
didn't make it?
not.
You didn't make it?
Unfortunately, I was attending a
Yeah,
Republican
too
event.
bad.
I was
Yeah.
sorry to have missed it.
Yeah, they had a pretty neat event. They had a big day. They called it a fun day. And they got together organizations that they did donate money to. So, and they all had like little booths. And then in the center of the parking lot, they blocked off the parking lot. They had a lot of things for kids to do. So there's a lot of families that came. It was a pretty cool deal. And so anyway, the reason I was there is because we get money from the lawsuits from the big pharma, and it comes to the city, and we wanted to help do something with the Elks. The Elks have a drug awareness program, and then we had a meeting here the other day with Ryan and Mike, and I can't remember, there were several here there at that meeting, and we want to try to do some things with schools and or youth or officers that are out there. And then the Elks have this program. We want to get together and do like a little partnership, start doing some drug awareness, and that money will come in. We'll use some of that for that. So I did a proclamation for them. So in a kind of a kickoff of that partnership of drug awareness. So it was good. It worked out really well. They were happy with it. They had a picture with the state representatives that they were there. They had like a special day. So it was really nice. So other than that, I did 2 proclamations a day, and both the DAR was involved. This is Constitution Week coming up, and or this week's Constitution Week, and also the Gold Star Mothers years ago put a memorial up in Richard to entrance to the park, and they had a time capsule, and it didn't work out very good. The time capsule had leaked and turned into muck, so we're redoing it, they're re-lettering the monument to say Gold Star Mothers and Families. So I did a proclamation for them also today, so it's kind of a fun deal. So, and I did that over the commissioner's office. So you should see the pictures coming out one of these days. I have one other thing, if you take a couple more minutes, and it'll be a little surprise, so to somebody here, so I'll just read it, and they can come up and get it then. Certificate of recognition presented to Matt Myers for going above and beyond as superintendent of the city of Greenville Street Department. As mayor, it is with great pride that I tender the certificate of recognition to Matt on behalf of the city of Greenville for his genuine willingness to help others, even when doing so involves giving his own personal time. like the special assistance recently provided to several individuals of the Artisan Stroll Committee at the conclusion of the August 1st Friday event. We had gotten a letter from one of them, and this is not the first time. We've probably, over the last 6 months, probably got 3 letters from different people recognizing Matt and wanted to make sure that we knew that the job that he was doing after hours and making sure that things were taken care of in the city for special events. So we truly appreciate all the extra efforts of Superintendent Myers, and with this dedicated service, you certainly continue to achieve great things in our community. So thank you very much.
There you go. Thank you. Speech. Thank you very much.
Now you'll catch all night, won't you?
All I heard was he learned it all from the previous superintendents. Where's he? Who's that?
I didn't want two swell dads. I was gonna say something about it.
That's the nicest thing you ever said to me. I didn't mean it.
He'll expect payment later.
This is funny.
Anything else, Mr. Mayor?
That's it, thank you. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Moving on to Safety Service Director, Mr. Delk.
Thank you, Mr. President. That one's going to be a hard one to go after, but we'll do our best. Just want to give some updates on all of our projects currently going on in the city and getting ready to start in the city. First one, North Ohio Street project. So security signal is currently there. They came in Monday afternoon and started installing all the mast arms. Last check, I think I had 3 up. Matt said he thinks they added the 4th there this afternoon. So now they'll have to hang all the traffic lights and the signs and the ped signals and the cabinet and wire it. It's probably a couple more days, and then we'll tear down the old and be able to put the final stamp on that project for completed. The 502 water transmission lane project, we've been meeting with our engineering firm and Greenville Construction, who is going to be doing that project. They're planning to start October 2nd, and then they will close the road down on October 5th. The road is supposed to be closed for 75 days. We just met with them again yesterday. So they got a little aggressive on their schedule, and they're going to bring 2 crews in and start one crew down at the water department or water plant, working into town on the big 24-inch line, and then they're going to start another crew up by the Vine Street, West Main area. They have some clearing and grubbing to do, and they'll start with the 12-inch water main that's going to tie in on West Main, down Vine to 4th and onto Chestnut. Originally, the project was planned to take somewhere in the 6 to 9 month range. With this new schedule and with 2 crews, they feel they can have it wrapped up by the middle of January, which is we're all in.
Fine.
Quicker the better. So they're confident they can do it. So we're going to work with them and try to get that one accomplished and knocked out of the way as well. Phase 1 sidewalk project, the bid was given to America's Decorative Concrete. We held a pre-construction meeting with them last week. Their plan is to start mid-October. They would like to get the entire project wrapped up with maybe not some seeding and the yard repairs, but they might have to wait till next spring to do the seeding portion. But they'd like to get that project knocked out yet this year. It's all going to be weather dependent. So if they run into weather, it'll get pushed back. Per contract, they have until April 15th to get it complete. But they're going to come in and see if they can't get it knocked out this year. Phase 2 sidewalks, currently with engineers, I talked to them when we did the pre-con for phase 1. He said he should have us all of the engineers' estimates for phase 2 by the end of this month, so we can get those letters out and get started on phase 2. And then the plan is to get started with evaluating phase 3 early spring of next year, so we can try to get those letters out earlier, which that project wouldn't take place until 2025. But 11 phases, and we're already talking about phase 3, so we're moving along. Solids handling down at the wastewater plant. is currently in the design phase. We've had a couple of kickoff meetings and going over some design options. We have the piece of equipment picked out that we'd like to use, and now we just have to get all the design portion figured out, how we can get trucks in and out of the plant to haul the material away, and how they're going to actually make the material. But moving along, another very large project. Water tower is currently, I just applied for the design loan portion. So we'll start designing with the construction in 2020, or they'll design it in 2024, construction in 2025, and that's an 18-month project. YOLO Park restrooms, I know we've talked about those in the past, and here we are back around. We said after Labor Day, and we're after Labor Day. So right now, the plans are back at our architect. So we were approached by Sue Houston with Dark County DD about an adult changing station. So we felt that it was a good time to try to add that to the downtown area. So the plans are currently with our architect, and they only had to make some minor, they're only going to have to make some minor changes to be able to add that adult changing station. So once that's complete, we're going to apply. Sue's going to help us apply to try to get a grant for that adult changing station. And then the street department will start that project probably mid-October. With it's going to go slow at first. There's a lot of infrastructure already in that area that we're going to have to work around and move. And then once we can get that all moved and get the foundations in, it should move along pretty quickly. And then the plan is to have that open next spring. We're shooting for Memorial Day. I'd like to have it a little earlier than that, but that's our goal. And then the plan is to have those open, not 24/7, but 365 days a year. We'll have them time locked, and it'll be a nice addition for YOLO Park and be a nice addition for downtown restrooms. 2023 maintenance paving is coming up. The contractor plans to be here mid-October as well. We have a lot going on in mid-October, and there's not too many streets left. North Ohio was a big one, which is already complete, so they'll go around and knock out the rest of our maintenance paving. Just Wayne Street, West Maple, Manchester, St. Clair, Parkway, and Nottingham, and they're not all complete streets. Some of them are just bits and pieces that fail our PCR rating. I just got word that we preliminary were approved for OPWC grant funding for 2024 for about $500,000 worth of maintenance paving. So that's a big positive too. We can either up our paving for next year or potentially use those funds somewhere else. We'll work through that, but it was just a preliminary approval. So final approval, I believe, is tomorrow morning actually. And then Schweitzer Street project, getting ready to start the design phase of that. There's a lot that's going to have to go into it. ODOT has to come in and do an environmental study on the whole area. And when I say environmental study, it's more of traffic flow patterns and how it'll affect different businesses. And so that all has to be, they talk to all the businesses. We're going to have to probably do some town hall, go out and talk to some businesses. There's a lot going on there with right of way and businesses that are, don't have much right of way or use up a lot to the right of way. So we're going to work through that to get that project going. Again, 2028, I think, is the actual construction date on that one. So we're a little ways off, but working towards it. And then tonight at, I think this is exciting, tonight at Park Board. So a company called Venture Links, who we contract with for the Roundhouse through Dark County DD. Then they contract with Venture Links, and then Venture Links brings in an employee to manage DD employees to help run the Roundhouse. Well, they've approached the Park Board about wanting to put a small concession stand down at South Park, and we think we're going to be able to do that pretty easily in the storage area that we use. We store a lot of things there in the winter, but in the summer we empty it out. So Matt thinks that we can make that happen fairly easy. We just have to work with the health department and work through some small things. They're not going to sell a lot. pop, candy, prepackaged type items, but I think that'll be a nice addition to the south end. And with that, I will answer any questions, but I will pass.
Ryan, I talked to Brian Stiers, who was over, kind of headed up that YOLO park originally, and he said they have plans for restrooms. I don't know if we've ever reviewed those or not.
Yeah, they don't have like actual, they just have like the footprint of where they want it, and that's
Okay.
where we're putting it. Yeah,
Okay.
we talked to them on the front end, because if they had already had plans drawn up, we were like, we could save a whole lot of money, but.
I took it that they had like full-blown plans. I was like,
Yeah,
wait,
well, they didn't have them when we started the project.
got ya. Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Any other questions for Safety Service Director? All right, moving on to the Law Director, Mr. Reaman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Tonight I'll just answer any questions anyone has.
All right, moving on to City Auditor, Ms. Wellman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I will pass tonight too.
Okay. Moving on to committee reports, there's an ad hoc committee report that was due, but I've had a request to extend that to the second meeting in November, and I will grant that request. So nothing there. Moving on to ordinances and resolutions, we have one, a supplemental ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. This supplemental ordinance allows for appropriations in the park fund in the sum as follows. Equipment maintenance park in the amount of $5,748.80. These funds are needed for reimbursement for construction of the YOLO workout area and repairs to shelter house number 3. New tree planting park in the amount of $815. These funds are needed for park tree purchases and were provided for by donations.
Move to suspend the rules.
Go ahead.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance second and third reading by title only.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, give this ordinance second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
Move to adopt. Moved by Mr. Whitaker to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes. Okay, that completes our ordinances and resolutions. Moving on to new business, we have none. Under old business, we have a tabled zoning amendment recommendation. Would anyone want to do anything with that? All right, moving on. Council representing outside committee. Always great to hear from what's going on with community action.
Yeah, I'll be short and sweet tonight, I promise. I just wanted you to remind you that the Dark County Community Action Partnership is affiliated as part of Miami Valley Community Action Partnership. There are 4 counties, and that's Dark, Green, Preble, and Montgomery. The local office is located on Schweitzer Street, and their business hours are 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. And one thing people should do is go check out the website, because some of the services they offer, and I'll give you the acronyms, the little HEAP, PIP, BASH, CHIP. And if you know what those are, well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
That's a poker chip.
Yep, that's, HEAP is Home Energy Assistance Program. BASH is for Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing. CHIP is Community Housing Impact and Preservation Program. And then Dark County Metropolitan Housing under Miami Valley CAP Association. They oversee the local senior citizens houses like Willow and all of those. So those people are overseen by that. And they assist, they also assist in homeless and low income residents. They have a food shelter, and they have an emergency shelter and the clothing bank. So go check out the website, and if you have people who are interested in seeing what some of these services are, please call the office. They're really great staff. Thank you.
Okay, any questions on that from anyone? All right, moving on to communications.
We received the monthly reports of August from the fire department and the transit department.
Okay, call council.
Whitaker,
Just wanted to go off of what Steve was talking about the drug awareness program. The event that was held was quite a success. There was a few hundred people in there throughout the day and a lot of activity for the kids, and it was a good time. And the program is going to work well, I think, with all the materials provided by the Elks for free. There's going to be a good attempt to get into the schools. So with that, I pass.
Neely,
Since I made such a long report, I'll pass.
Godwin,
Make a motion to excuse the absences for the month.
Move to, by Mr. Godwin to excuse the absence for the month. Any discussion on that? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
All right, thanks for everybody coming up tonight, and enjoy the weather, and I'll pass.
Norris,
Thanks for everybody for attending, especially our department heads. I definitely appreciate that. Reiterate with Ryan or what Mayor and Jeff said about the Elks. I think that was a good program. The fire department needs to be commended because they were there the entire time and got along well with, is it Elroy, the Elk, and the kids and stuff, and they really enjoyed the fire apparatus. And we had, at one point, we had 2 officers there, 2 for several hours, so it was just a nice time, and I'm looking forward to getting with the Elks as far as the drug awareness program, and thanks, Council President, for bringing that to our attention several months ago to do the research. I think it's a good program. And the meeting we had prior, we had Doug Freeze, the school superintendent, and he's excited about it too. So I think it's going to be a good collaboration overall. And with that, I'll pass.
Rogers,
Yeah, kudos to the Rolling 50s Classic Car Club. They did an outstanding job of getting cars in there. I didn't stay for the whole thing, but they were lining them up down the center of Broadway, I guess. The last number I heard was 629, but I don't know whether that was the legitimate number. So anyway, that kudos to them. They did a great job, and pass.
Schmidt,
Pass.
President Baumgartner.
Yep, so 2 things. So congrats to Matt. You know, Matt's one of those, whenever I call him, he answers. And if there's a trash complaint or whatever the complaint is, gets knocked out. So I'd have to say, I'd have to agree with Mike. He's had a good upbringing somehow, right? So thanks, Ryan, for showing him the ropes. And then, yeah, just kudos to the car show. I know a lot of that goes, the proceeds of that go back to the Shrine Hospital. I think that's a great cause. So great numbers, great evening, great weather, et cetera. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to adjourn. Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes. Evening, everyone.